Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Play Donkey Kong Country 2. We are going to move on to K. Rool's Keep, which is nearing the end of the game. Let's start with Arctic Abyss. So this is a theme that I don't think we've actually seen yet in this game. If we can make our way over here, you can do it just right if you get enough speed and do a roll jump. Unfortunately, it's not quite working out for me here. There we go. So, of course, I got hit by the TNT guy, but it doesn't really matter. There's a DK barrel there. We can also use a team up in order to get up here. This is not really super important to go to, but it skips a little bit of the level and also gives you some goodies. So now we're going to turn into On Guard, and we can swim around as our little swordfish friend here and actually become him. So if we head back up here, you can see there's some bananas pointing towards the wall. We can charge up and get to a bonus game up here where we need to collect some more stars. I think at this point we've got enough stars to start some kind of star economy, but of course the trick here is that the water just gets constantly going down, so as long as you charge back and forth, you'll collect enough by the end of it in order to get the coin. Alright, so let's try not to get hit by the pufferfish dude there, and again, those starfish that will home in on you, so gotta watch out for them. Of course, watch out for the guys that explode as well. Oop. Yeah, so the thing about On Guard is you can get through a lot of the level by just kind of doing like the supercharge thing, because you will destroy any enemies in front of you, and it's pretty hard for anything else to hit you, really, so On Guard's got some pretty good strengths there, but otherwise, we do need to be careful in a few places. You know, when you're going vertically, the supercharge doesn't help a lot. We can also use to get over here. That'll get us the DK medal. That's a pretty simple one. That's kind of an easy one to guess. So, it's not too hard to get. This music is also pretty good. I don't know if we've heard it yet. I don't think so. But, again, it is a good one. Oh, so unfortunately couldn't get those bananas. So let's take that. I don't know what that guy was doing. He was just sitting there in place, but works for me, I guess. We'll take him out. Alright, that worked pretty well. So if we were fast enough there, we could have got that red balloon, but too bad. So we can go back through here if we want. That'll get rid of On Guard, and we can go through the cave opening. That'll take us to a bonus game. It's kind of a weird bonus game. There's not a lot of fanfare for it, but we do get to be the Kongs again for a bit. So you gotta watch out on the ice. Of course, it is slippery. You know how much game developers in this day and age love to put in ice physics. It's one of the most loved things about retro games, I'm sure. So we gotta take the chest with us. Of course, we gotta hit all the bees along the way. On the final one, the token will appear. So there we go. If we time it just right, we can get what we want out of that. Jumping out of the water pretty much guarantees that you will like have enough force upon landing in order to get it. So it's kind of weird, like gravity that way. I don't know how it works exactly, but next we got Windy Well. Windy Well is one of my least favorite levels in the game. It's actually kind of annoying in a lot of ways. If you jump down there, you can get the K and then immediately fall to your death. So we're off to a great start already, huh? Alright, so let's get the K this time and head back to the left so we don't end up landing on that beetle. We can take him out this way. Narrow platforms, you don't have a lot of control over which direction you bounce. So of course the trick here is that whenever you jump in certain places, the wind will carry you up. And it's really hard to tell where that will happen and where it won't. Oh man, I actually managed to get him that time. It's pretty hard to actually get him on the first swing there. So yeah, it seems kind of random, like where it will actually carry you and where it won't. So, and when it does a lot of this stuff, where you hit some like arbitrary top line and it sends you back down, and you kind of have to time that out in order to get underneath stuff. I don't really like it too much. It's not like a clearly explained mechanic. There's a lot of just kind of random stuff that you gotta figure out by doing it. Alright, so of course, as with basically all floating mechanics in this game, you can do hit up or down in order to go faster or slower. We can go underneath there, get to a bonus game. And that's one of those cases where you just have to know the wind is going to carry you. You won't fall to your death or anything. So more mosquitoes to bounce off of. That's always fun. You should get an extra life for that, you know, like jumping off that many enemies in a row. Should give you something for it. Mario had it right there. Alright, so we gotta jump under the bees and make our way to the left. Let's jump over that guy, I don't care about him too much. And we could get all that stuff if we cared about it, but I'd rather just continue. We'll get to the halfway point. Alright, so we can avoid these guys here. And again, it's one of those things where like it just arbitrarily stops blowing for a while, so you can go back down. If you want to get that life, you'd actually have to go underneath all the bees, like the wind would carry you there. So that's why I just kind of skip it, because it's not really worth it. It's really hard to get past those guys, actually. Alright, so if we do a roll jump here, we can get underneath just enough in order to get that DK medal, so it's best to use Diddy to do so, because he's the best at doing that. But Dixie could probably do it just as well. And while this music is good, it is not enough to make me actually like this level. Alright, so this is one of those cases where I've got to go underneath the bees, and if you don't time it out just right, you'll get hit on the way back up. It's a little weird, and again, kind of hard to tell exactly where it's going to happen, so you just have to feel it out. Let's not run into the porcupine guy up here. I guess it's porcupine, right? I don't know what animal. I guess that's what animal it's supposed to be. Alright, so what I like to do is just slow down when I get to these guys so they'll fire right over me and then I can just slip through. No parrot. Oh, I wish I could have had a parrot at this point. Man, that would have helped out so much. Alright, so we can go underneath here if we want, and we'll have to, we needed that barrel. So we have to get it just in time there in order to hit this guy with the barrel. That'll get us to a bonus game. And that will definitely be the last one of the levels, since, you know, the end of level, like, goal stick is right there. Hey, there's our parrot friend. Squawks, how you doing, buddy? So getting all the stars here is pretty simple, but the time limit is actually kind of strict. As you can see, I'm running out. I only had 5 seconds left, so you gotta be really careful, and also don't run into the thorn walls on either side. So this is where Squawks goes away, unfortunately, but... Alright, so if you want to get this, what you have to do is you can go up here on this hook, and that'll let you actually be carried by the wind. Again, there's no indication that that would happen, and then once you go over to the right, it'll drop you off onto the target. So glad we got that one out of the way. I only actually died once, and it was really stupid the first time, so, you know, I'm actually really happy with how that went. I'll definitely take that. So Castle Crush is another level that is unique to this world. It's really cool. It's got unique music. We're just basically kind of constricted to this little area here as we're slowly being pushed up by this floor. I don't know who designed this, like really what Rool had in mind whenever he made like part of his castle do this. But, well, it does, so if we head over here to the left, we can turn into Rambi, and we will need to do so, do a little headbang in there if we want. Just to be annoying, right? So we're gonna need to be him in order to get to some bonus games here later. So, for now though, let's just continue up. It's pretty easy to figure out where to go. You know, there's not a lot of choice, so... I kind of like this level. It's a little bit more relaxed, like it is kind of crazy in some places, but, you know, it's not like the super tough platforming, especially just after Windy Well. It's kind of a break, so I'm thankful for it at least. Yeah, so having Rambi here makes this a lot easier. Otherwise, you'd have to let these guys drop and then jump on them and stuff. So, you know, Rambi can just hit him with his horn. And we're gonna have this guy here, he's gonna somehow throw his hook through the wall. I thought you could actually hit that back. Oh man, okay, that was that was really bad. I totally thought you could hit that back by doing like his ramming attack. But unfortunately, no, you're just gonna have to jump over it, which is actually a little bit trickier to do as Rambi, since he's a little bigger and slightly less, you know, slightly less wieldy. So again, these guys are easy to take out with Rambi, otherwise you have to let them drop and then roll into them. Alright, so we've got an arrow pointing to the left here. If we could just get up onto the ledge, we can use Rambi's charge in order to open the wall. It'll take us to a Destroy Them All bonus game. So all you have to do is take out the bees. You don't really even have to take out the bees. It's kind of fun in order to like use them to do that, to kind of get up to the platform earlier. But if you just wait, they'll actually die whenever they hit the floor. So really, you don't actually have to do anything there, but it's more fun to jump around on the bees. Alright, so we say goodbye to Rambi, and now we are back on our own. We get through there. That can be easy to get caught up on. Yeah, there may be something back down here. Yeah, there you go. If you drop back down, you can get the O, but otherwise there's nothing really down there you need to check out. So yeah, we just have the O. It is kind of a long level. One of the side effects of it being sort of auto-scrolling like this is you can't really control how quickly you go through it. So thankfully, though, there's the halfway point. And again, this is where the bees will get taken out if they hit the floor. That's kind of a demonstration, I guess. We can also go through the wall on the left here. There is a banana to signify that you can do that. And we can make our way up here as Squawks. And with Squawks, we can pretty much just fly through this level. We don't have to wait on the floor or anything at all. We can be super quick about it, which is nice. And you're going to need to be in a few places because we're going to have to go back down here to get the DK medal. So obviously if the floor had caught up to you, you wouldn't be able to get it there. And now we can also use this TNT barrel to break open the wall. So this is basically just surviving. As you can see, the floor is getting a lot quicker as we go up, so you gotta make sure. The good part is you don't have to guess like which side of the wall the opening is gonna be on. It's pretty much always left to right in some fashion, so you know, left to right, right to left, just back and forth type stuff. So here you gotta be pretty quick. It's really easy. I think if you don't jump onto that platform, you will get crushed. But the good news is I think that's pretty easy to try again. It might not be. I think once you open it, it's open like for good, so you can just walk back into it. Pretty sure that's how it works, but maybe not. I don't know. Alright, so this time, unfortunately, we don't have the benefit of Rambi to help us out. So just roll into the porcupine guys, jump on the crocs. Yeah, for some reason that the AI that follows you is just not programmed to stand still on a rising surface. I guess that's not something they thought they really needed to test super thoroughly or anything. I don't know, it gives it a little character, right? Alright, so DK barrel over there. It's supposed to be enticing you, but you know, we've got both of our partners, we've got both of our Kongs here anyway, so it doesn't really matter. We're just gonna jump over these guys and then go under them. You can take it anyway, take this guy out, get the G behind him. Alright, so this is where things get tricky. They're going to, thankfully they fire alternating. They don't fire at the same time. If they threw them at the same time, that would be really tough to get over, but since it's kind of one after the other, it's a little bit easier to jump over them. So another section with these circling bees. Thankfully, this one's wider, so if you need to, you can just kind of get out of the way. You don't have to worry about jumping over them or anything. Let's make sure not to get chomped by those dudes. This is also a pretty good song. It's not, like, super involved or anything, but it works pretty well for what it's doing. Alright, so unfortunately, we're not able to get the target there. If you wanted to get that, you'd have to go to the middle one and jump up on the upper ledge there to drop down. But unfortunately, the way we went, couldn't happen. Not a big deal, though. Alright, so another ice level we can, sorry, I was taking a drink there, so didn't expect action to happen right off the bat. If we team throw to the hook there at the beginning, we can get to a bonus game here. Again, watch out for the ice physics. You do need to stay on these platforms, otherwise you'd have to go back and try again. But it's really not too bad if you spend a minimal amount of time on the ground, then the ice can't really do much to you. So yeah, you can see there is a B there, which I guess I'm not sure what exactly that means, but because B is jump, and I don't know, whatever. Anyway, we can now continue on with the level. It's a little bit confusing, like where do you actually end up after all that? So this is kind of a cool little mechanic. I like this quite a lot. We can jump on the seal dudes and they'll kind of freeze the water, and that'll let us get by here, and we can use our ice physics to sort of slide underneath stuff. It's pretty cool, and of course if you take too long, you'll end up getting eaten by that fish. And for some reason the fish just goes away at this point, but I guess it's a good thing it did. Oh, well, that wasn't quite what I wanted to do. Let's see if we can get him on the way back. Oh. Alright, so if we head over here, we should be able to catch him. And there we go. Oh, man. All right, thankfully, though, this time. All right, we got him. I don't like those guys. They're pretty easy to get hit by. So let's try to be careful on our way through here. Just don't be underneath those guys when they explode. And you can see there is a banana here, which, of course, indicates a bonus game hidden in the wall that we can charge through. So now we are on guard. That starts out on dry land. That's kind of an interesting start there. We can make our way through. If we just like supercharge a whole bunch, we'll be able to get through here just in time, and we'll get our 69th token. Oh, yeah, you can't roll into those guys from behind, only from the front. So, well, this isn't be good. There we go. Just gotta get that halfway point. It'd be a real shame to die there, right? Alright, so let's get our helper back. Slide under this guy. Whoop. It's a nice little obstacle course, isn't it? I like the way they set that up. Ah, yep. I can see that coming. Alright, so let's get up here without getting swallowed by the water first. Get that G. Oh, well. So we died and then immediately got an extra life, so we're thankfully stuck here at 15. But we do have to start over at the checkpoint, so if we can get that... Ah, well, you know what? Fine. That's close enough. That's good enough for me. Alright, so yeah, you could roll into those guys to go quicker. It's probably a good idea to do so, but, you know, you've got enough time, it doesn't really matter. So what we can do is just sort of clear the path ahead of us. Whoop. And there we go. Thankfully, we have just the right Kong, and we can get what we want here. Let's just grab a coin. Alright, Chain Link Chamber. We are getting near the top. As you can see, we're kind of climbing K. Rool's tower here, so... yeah, this one is a bit of a pain. It's got basically nothing but climbing mechanics throughout the whole thing, and unfortunately we started with Dixie, who is not the best climber in the game, but we should be able to find an opportunity to switch here soon. Here we go. So yeah, it's just a bunch of this, really. Kind of chain links all over the place that you're going to have to get through. We can head over to the right here, and it takes sort of a different path up, and jump into the B, of course. So whenever climbing up, just be careful, because there's probably something up there waiting. So, you know, don't climb up at full speed. Now, when it comes to this last guy, if we can get this barrel dude out of the way, we can take a cannonball and go over here, jump on him, and that'll let us get to a cannon and shoot off into yet another bonus game. So you can use the cannonball to kind of take out the first bee there if you really cared about those bananas, but, you know, why would you really? So we can just keep jumping here. It's pretty simple. It's a little bit precise to jump in between those bees, but you've probably been doing it enough by now that you know, you're pretty decent at it at least. Alright, so let's get Diddy back, and we will start our climb again. You've got a choice. You can go either way. It doesn't really matter. Just make sure not to shoot into the bees on this one. Get a little bit of slowdown there. Alright, there we go. And we can continue up. Ah, yeah, I couldn't find a good time. I might have been able to shoot diagonally there to just jump onto the rope or the chain or whatever, but, you know, whatever. We ended up making it, so. Yeah, this is actually really tricky, those bees. If you move too quickly, you could very easily run into a path of a bee that you weren't really accounting for, so. Gotta just play it cool, be slow here, as the game is also being slow. Oop. Let's set up to the left here, got our halfway marker. And yeah, for some reason this level just lags the game a whole lot. I'm not really sure why that is. And just keep going, don't even worry about them. And again, we can choose left or right. Let's hit left this time, since we did right last time. It's pretty simple to just keep going and avoid those guys, so I'd say we made a good choice. Alright, oh man, another one of these with circular bees. Alright, can we make it? Alright, yeah, just hide up there, don't want to get hit. Alright, so here we've got, we've kind of got to go up these ropes. They're going to shoot at us. The unfortunate part is it's hard to tell where the first one is going to be. You know, it doesn't really indicate that in any way, so we've just got to go back and forth. It's also a really tricky spot where you can jump into the wall there. There doesn't seem to be anything indicating that. Maybe the banana in between the chains was at that same level, but man, that's tough to find, so The DK medal is within there, though, so, you know, if you want to get them all, you got to go there, too. Alright, so you can also jump through the wall here and take revenge on these guys, but more importantly, there's a bonus game behind them. So this one's pretty self-explanatory. The bananas show you exactly where to go, so you don't have to think about it too much. Okay, we should hopefully be nearing the end sometime soon. Gotta watch out for these bees and then jump whenever they reach the bottom. Yeah, I've got plenty of time, so you don't need to worry about them too much. And we just drop down here. You can actually drop down faster than they move, so... time your button presses just right and you can do it. Whoop. Yeah, and here you can pretty much just climb straight up at full speed and you'll avoid all of them, which is nice. And whoa, yeah, I gotta watch out for that guy. That guy will take lives from you if he hits you, which is pretty mean, actually. Alright, so let's see what we got. We'll just grab a coin. Alright, so Funky's over there, and of course Swanky is hiding out as well in one of these towers. Maybe he's being held prisoner or something, I don't know. Alright, so yet another one. Let's start with K-Rool's quiz. This area of the island, again, a common question, so keep up with that. K-Rool's keep. It's the name of the Old Man Kong. If you don't... Old Man... Now that I think Old Man Kong. Is he a man or is he a Kong? Should it just be an Old Kong? I don't know, that's... I've never even noticed that wording before. Old Man Kong. Alright, so what's the name of the castle level with the rising floors? Castle Crush. Animal buddies, can you run in the game? Might have to think a bit, but it's gonna be 5 total. And there's the flying ghost coat Kremling. Again, his name is Cloak. That one's pretty easy to guess, even if you didn't know, because like all Kremlings start with a K. So, there you go. Spider Buddy, his name's Squitter. 8 Eyes is a terrible name. Don't call him that. That's rude. How many desks are there in Kong College? I don't know, 5? Close enough. How many different baddies do you think there are? That one's interesting. That ends up being an even 30, so that's kind of cool. I'm sure that was by design. Like, you know, someone just sat down and said, okay, think of 30 enemies and we'll put them in the game. Of course, you know, some of them were carried over, like the Zinger, the bees and stuff, so... But still, it's cool that it ends up being an even number. Alright, so we got this, this is Toxic Tower. We're gonna turn it into Rattly once again. As you can see, the green toxic sludge water is rising. And, well, the basic objective is to get to the top before it reaches you. It's kind of self-explanatory. So we can do some jumps here. We are making very good progress. One thing I really like about this is the windows in the background. You can sort of see, like, the slime water rising behind them. It's kind of neat. It's a pretty neat little effect. So you gotta be careful on these jumps. Yep, there you go. Gotta fall through that one. Might not think so, but you do. The DK medal's down there. So yeah, unfortunately, in a lot of places, there's not a lot of ground to stand on, so it's pretty easy if you miss your jump to just fall through and find that the toxic water is actually right below you. It moves fairly quickly, like you're not gonna see it, but it is actually pretty close behind, so you do need to keep up at least a relatively brisk pace. I can get this guy out of the way. There we go. So I'm gonna use the bees to jump up here. It'd be a real shame if you fell at this point, because I pretty much guarantee you get hit. Alright, so now we turn into squawks. We can move up a little bit quicker, I think, and a little bit more precisely. So let's just, whoop, not right into the bee. If we head over here, I would have liked to have taken that guy out, but no big deal. And unfortunately, we got a red bee here that we can't do anything about. Whoop. Yeah, so let's just make our way through. There's not a whole lot to see. There's a handful of like little side areas and stuff, but they're not really that important. They have like bananas or maybe coins in them at the best, you know. So it's not worth getting hit in order to grab those things. 3 bees to take out here. Notice the B increment is always incrementing by 1 there. We had 1, 2, 3, and 4. Alright, so now we move on to our next animal friend. I guess we're just kind of cycling through them here. Squitter, we've got a little hidden area to the right there. We can go through the wall. That'll take you to a bonus game. Again, pretty well hidden. One you probably wouldn't find your first time through. So going up diagonally is actually kind of rough because you can't go up at that exact angle. So this is a good time to use that technique where if you press L and R at the same time, you'll get a web immediately underneath you. Helps out a lot in those like kind of very, very north by northwest-ish. Like, I don't really know how to explain it other than that, but helps out there. So you get a coin and then we're done. Only got 1, so, I can't really afford much, but don't really need them too much anyway. Alright, so Stronghold Showdown, you may be able to guess that that's going to be the boss of this world, so let's head back down and save real quick. You'll see that we are at 80%, so even though we have been getting everything, and this is the Stronghold Showdown, we're still only at 80%, which means there might still be some more to do. So let's go ahead and check this out. So of course it couldn't be that easy. We see our captured Donkey Kong, but you can see K. Rool is escaping into his airship, and next up is the Flying Croc. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.